first time doing this on the phone. Interesting. Let's see if I can use my tripod. And actually, I think my phone camera is better than my, whatchamacallit, than my actual camera on the computer. Oh man, the allergies are killing me. Okay, hold on, guys. Let me set this John up. Okay. Hard with one hand, showing you guys the behind the scenes work. I'm so sorry I'm late. This is tragic. I'll share some updates as I set this up. So, I am still in Brazil. And as it turns out, just came back from the mall. COVID is bad here, but it's not like so horribly bad that we can't go out. And I think they're opening up, I know they're opening up a lot of the restrictions. So that's good. Let's see if I can do this. I'm so excited, actually. I've been meaning to try this out for the longest time. This angle is pretty bad. Whatever, guys. Whatever. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay. Bam. All right. Why don't we lower this guy? Doing YouTube alone is so hard. You know, like, I think a lot of people think that it's chill, it's easy. When you see the final product on YouTube, it's so effortless, and yet it is not that. Oh, moving some of this stuff out of the way. I'm dying. I'm literally dying. You know, my girlfriend says that when I do YouTube, we should clean up a little bit and make the house look really nice. But I also believe in #ThisIsMe and just showing you guys what it is. Like, sometimes we are dirty, and maybe I should clean up. Maybe this is just an excuse, but also I want to show you guys my real self, my authentic self. Let's see if I can watch the YouTube live on my laptop while I do the YouTube live on my phone. That's pretty meta, huh? Okay, let's see if my Brazilian internet can support this. In other news, I got the new job, which was really exciting, guys. I got the job from Synthesis. That has been really cool. Oh, this is great. I can actually see myself from the computer. That's pretty wild. Wait, guys, this is so meta. Take a look at this. I'm on the live stream, watching the live stream. Okay, that's pretty wild. Let me know, guys, what questions you have. I'll be answering them. This way I can actually see the chat. But in other news, yeah, life has been really good, and just been enjoying Brazil. Been cooking quite a bit as well. Been listening to a lot of audiobooks. I recently discovered this new series. There's a whole genre called Lit RPG. So literature role-playing games. Check it out, Lit RPG. There's a really great book that I like. It's called The Ritualist by Dakota Craft. So that's really awesome. Check that out. Let's see. Thanks, Annabella. Yeah, the new job is the synthesis job that I was talking about. Why don't you guys, let's see if I can pull it up. Synthesis.is. I'll send it over. Super duper excited about this opportunity. As you guys know, I've kind of been building and working on my own for a while, and it's really, really cool that finally I have a team. All these people are super passionate about education like I am. Here's the little spiel. Oh, it's too long. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up for you guys because I think it's really, really exciting. So here's the origin story. Oh, that's still too long. I will figure this out, guys. We are problem solvers. In the meantime, if you have any questions about things you guys want to talk about, I am more than happy to talk about college admissions, my personal life. As always, I'm an open book. Really happy to talk about whatever you guys want to. So just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to send this little spiel over here about what synthesis is. It was basically started by this dude. His name is Josh Dan, co-founder, creative director. He started this experimental school for kids at SpaceX, including for Elon Musk's kids as well as other SpaceX employees. This freaking fly, man. All right, anyways. So he has decided to create something similar to Ender's Game. Have you guys heard of Ender's Game? It's basically, these games which are problem-solving-esque and teaching kids critical thinking, leadership skills. So I'm going to be a part of that. Really excited. There's people, it seems like I actually have the least amount of experience. Other people are pursuing master's degrees in education, have been teaching elementary school for a while, and all that good stuff. So that is really cool. Thanks, Damien. Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm going to pull the camera just a little closer. Let's see. Ugh, that way the microphone is better. Let's tilt this baby down. Oh, okay. How's that? Oh man, now my head is cut off. Alright. Hopefully this is okay. I don't know if it's me, but it seems kind of laggy. I don't know if it's laggy for you guys as well. But it is what it is. Anyways, 7 viewers, let me know what you guys want to talk about. Happy to discuss whatever. And yeah, I'm also trying to throw out some feelers as in to ask about what videos you guys want now that we're hitting late spring, early summer. It's been really cool seeing kids receive acceptances to colleges, great financial aid packages. I think for the most part, people survived. They're going somewhere, which is always good news. And if you are still in a pickle and you don't know where you want to go, you have questions about college, feel free to DM me. You guys can schedule a meeting using bit.ly/botherkevin20. Tulia, it's a new person. Hey, so great for you to join. Thanks so much for your comment. Yeah, if you have any questions, Tulia, about the content that I create, college admissions, I'm going to create like a little 30 to 50 video series about college, a college survival guide, how to drink in college, how to cram in college, how to butter up your professors. That will be coming in the summer. It's been kind of hard juggling so many balls at once. I'm trying to exercise, read every day, and also work on my tutoring, do startup stuff. No, the tutoring is the startup, excuse me. Doing tutoring, YouTube, and then now starting this new job with Synthesis, and then most importantly, hanging out with my girlfriend.
Me.
She's a wild animal, guys. You only see her for 2 seconds at a time. Very rare. I would like to learn about getting into Yale. I heard Y_'s community service. Could you cover that part? Yes, absolutely. Let's talk about community service. It's actually going to be kind of detrimental, guys, if you're applying to a lot of these top colleges and you don't have community service. I think that kind of stands out as a little bit of a red flag, orange sign, whatever you want to call it. There's lots of different ways to do community service, all right? Let's just talk about different tiers of community service, because you could have community, on the Common App, you can list up to 10 activities. So there's a big difference between, at the very bottom range of it, I volunteer for 1 to 2 hours a week, I've been doing it for a year or two, versus, I started a nonprofit, I lead it, I've been running it for 3-4 years, we operate in multiple states, I manage, 24 employees. They don't have to be employees, but just community service volunteers. So that is much more powerful. And one of the most important things is to combine that leadership aspect with volunteering. So if you can showcase that, and again, in the middle range, it would be like, I lead a volunteering club or a service organization at my school. It doesn't have to be a school, it can be at your church, but those are always nice. And if you can hit that kind of point in multiple organizations, right? You started your own org and you also lead a service group chapter at church. That's really good stuff. This mosquito is getting, I'm literally going to destroy this mosquito and its entire family. I can't.
Is it a fly?
No, it's a mosquito. They're slower, easier to kill, but more dangerous. Oh my God. Okay, I didn't get it, but I think it flew out of the room.
Give me the thing. I'll try to get it for you. It's
Oh yes, we have this device, guys. This is very Brazilian.
made in China.
It's made in China, my girlfriend
Very
says.
made in China.
Very Brazilian, made in China. In China, I think they have these little. Oh, there it is! Oh, I swear to God, I got it. I think I got it.
Yeah, you did. It's
I
right
did.
here.
I got it right.
Yeah. It's right here.
Let them see. Let the people see. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Can you guys see it? It's stuck in the middle. That's it. Stream's over. This has been my peak. Any tips for the Yale community essay? The Yale community essay. The Yale community essay. Figure about. Wait, what is the Yale community essay? Let me look it up. What's the prompt? Oh, reflect on your engagement with the community to which you belong. Okay. I remember now. Guys, give me like 30 seconds. I'm dying. I need to take one of these allergy pills. You guys have caught me in my most vulnerable, weakest position. This is me. I started this channel out with the purest of intentions, and now here I am doing drugs on the live stream. How far I've come. No, just kidding. Okay, so any tips for the Yale community essay? Reflect on your engagement with the community to which you belong, 250 words or fewer. I think most people, the best way to approach this essay, I shouldn't say the best way, but one way to approach this essay is talking about what you give to the community and what the community gives to you. I can't believe we're asking about this. Application season just ended, but yeah, we can talk about it. So to what extent, maybe you joining a specific community, like what do you get out of it? The tricky thing about this is to avoid as many cliches as possible. I think that most people focus on, yeah, we get the teamwork, service, things like that, but what can a community offer you, right? Try to list down the things that you think are cliche and literally avoid those. Focus really on specifics. So I guess a really specific example, which I talked about, is first of all, thinking about the word community and trying to pick a different community than most people typically talk about. People will typically talk about teams and sports. So I remember when I think I was writing about this, really they talked about an extracurricular activity that you want to expand upon. I kind of related it back to community, and I talked about volunteering with kindergartners and first graders. So I was joining that community. And in a sense, that community taught me how to see things for the first time again, how to approach life with that vitality, that kind of just curiosity. And I think that is a really original answer, you know what I mean? So think about like a really different community. So rather than, I guess another example that I can just think of right on the spot would be like a YouTube community or an online community. Like what do you get out of it? I remember one of my students actually wrote about breakdancing online. So everything moved online. He has a breakdance club online for school, and then he also joined our little breakdance practice sessions. And he talked about how everyone can incorporate their unique styles as well as the different time zones, the international diversity, cultural diversity, different flavors, and yet at the same time we all share that same passion for hip hop. So that was a really interesting community. So I guess that's a nice tip. Focus on original communities. Or if you pick a normal community like your church, try to focus on a really, I think, original aspect. So maybe your church is a community, but you guys really take pride in. Maybe for some reason you guys have gamified service and turned it into like a little competitive thing where people are trying to figure out like, oh, can we beat our record from last week? Like we raised this much, or we had like 100 pounds of donated food. How can we beat that? And maybe you love that gamified, competitive aspect of the community, if that makes any sense. So originality is in short supply, my friends. Creativity is scarce. You want to showcase that, and please don't write cliche answers when it comes to any of your essays. You always want to write in a way that is so unique that only you could have written it. Your job is to stand out. Your job is to swim against the current. So in order to swim against the current, this goes across all applications, undergraduate, for college, for grad school. You need to identify, like, what are most people saying? How can I take that and spin it? You could take something that's pretty common, like I mentioned. If you're part of a team or a community, let's say you define your community as the volleyball team. And picking a very unique answer that most people wouldn't really expect. So when they think volleyball, they think like teamwork, they think about different parts contributing to the whole, competitive aspects. Maybe your volleyball team is just really silly, and you guys are super duper goofy. You guys have, like, I don't know, come up with skits that are related to comedy on the bus rides to other volleyball games, and just talking about that goofiness, there's another fly. That ability to be yourself, that would be really powerful. Okay. Wow, we have a lot of new people. A low number of subscribers watching today. It's chill. I'm happy if just one person watches. We have hello from Guam. What's up, Vicente? And yeah, at this point, guys, why don't you let me know where you guys are from. Just type in the chat what city, state, country you're watching from. Feel free to toss this video a like if you guys are feeling so inclined. And then I think there's something in the super chat function which we haven't tried out yet. It would be really cool. Feel free to do a super chat. I think you can donate like $1 or $2 sticker if you think my videos are helpful. I kind of want you guys to do it because no one's ever done it before. So you'll be the first ever super chat, and I will remember you until the end of time. So that is a little bit of an incentive. Tulia, awesome. Tulia's from New York. As it turns out, I'll be in New York next month. Maybe it'll be kind of fun to meet up with a subscriber. I wonder where New York you're at. If you're vaccinated, maybe we can link up at a cafe and hang with my subscribers. That would be cool. We have New York, Guam, and Beijing, and Denise from Turkey. That's awesome. Vicente says he's a transfer applicant, super anxious. Decisions are coming out soon. Rooting for you, Vicente. I'm literally rooting for you. I hope you get into wherever you applied. Tunisia. Yeah, Fatma, I remember you. I do remember you guys. Not a lot, speaking with you guys one-on-one definitely leaves a lasting impression. Yeah. I'll be in Manhattan. My sister lives in the Heights, in Washington Heights. And Damien, who was here earlier in the chat, is my breakdance buddy, so we breakdance a lot. Well, he breakdances a lot. I got kicked out of my breakdancing spot, my usual spot in Brazil, and so I've been doing a lot of yoga, power yoga. Really enjoy that. I love stretching. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of a weird guy. Stuff I enjoy is not super typical, I guess you would say. Okay, guys, let's hit me up with some more questions. What videos do you guys want me to make? Feel free to hit me with some video topics. I know I've been a little bit slow with coming up with new videos, but I promise I'm thinking about them. I will come up with them more this week. Did a lot of college winter reviews last week and been editing those. That takes up a good chunk of time. But yeah, let me know. I'm thinking of doing some gap year videos about just how to survive college, tips that you guys should know. I want them to be educational, informative, authentic, raw, and at the same time entertaining and fun for you all. Oh, we have another yoga lover. I feel that. Boarding school content would be great. Okay, I feel like boarding school was a long time ago. My dream school to transfer would be Bulldog, Bow Wow Wow. This sounds familiar. Some people are talking about the decline of Yale. What do you think about that? Well, first time I've heard of that, the decline of Yale. Let me look it up. What do you mean by the decline of Yale? The text decline of Ivies? Yale no longer center, decline of Yale. No, I'm not sure what you mean. Fatma, can you elaborate? What do you mean by the decline of Yale? I've been seeing people on Quora talk about it. Can you attach the Quora post, Fatma? If you attach the Quora post, I might be able to take a look at it and reference it. By the way, guys, you guys know where you're going to college? If you know and you want to share, put it in the chat so we can celebrate you all. Annabelle Hong, summer plans. In the summer, I plan to return to Miami and tutor a bunch. And I'll be working this new job with synthesis, so I think that will take up a good chunk of time. And actually, I think that the main focus of the summer will be YouTube. Trying to record a lot of really great videos, that series that I mentioned. And yeah, the channel's been growing very steadily. I think we've been hitting an average of 4 or 5 subs every day, which is just absolutely mind-boggling to me that people are subscribing in my sleep. I am a bit of an addict. I open up the analytics and check it every day, and I like seeing like how many people have subscribed and checking that out. And I think things will pick up in the summer as well once more people are applying to colleges. It's going to be definitely a big transition period. I'm trying to, when I think about what I'm going to do, it's really dependent on what you guys are doing and what you guys are thinking, feeling, questions that you guys want to have answered. I'm trying to read your mind and like put out that content right when you have the question, or either before you guys have the question, so that we kind of like have the timing on lock. But yeah, it's just a mixture of tutoring, lots of breakdancing. I will leave 1 or 2 days open for myself just to chill. There's going to be some travel. I'm going to Yellowstone National Park at the end of August. Going to get a new camera lens. Really excited about that. Maybe I'll make a vlog, record it, test out my wildlife landscape photography with my sister. And then in September, returning to Brazil, probably most definitely returning to Brazil. And then floating between Brazil and Miami for the next 6 months or so after that, from the fall of 2021, winter of 2022. And then I really want to focus more on YouTube, and hopefully this can become like the main thing. And I think it would be really, really fun just for this to be like my main gig. I have been steadily making like $1 a day from YouTube ad revenue, and I got sponsored by this other group. What is it called? This sponsorship from College Advisor. Yeah, it's in the description. If you guys are feeling overwhelmed during the college app process, you guys can check out College Advisor to get a free Ivy League strategy session. I'm all about that. Free labor, free resources, so check that out if you guys are curious. I know you mentioned Princeton was your top school before. Would you have changed your choice if you had gotten accepted? No. I think I dodged a bullet. Going to Yale instead of Princeton. I dodged a bullet. Princeton is hard, guys. It's a real grind. And after going to Exeter for 4 years and just being academically ground into dust, I'm not sure that I would have really enjoyed more studying. I think a lot of people think the purpose of college is to study, but I went in with a very different perspective. I thought the purpose was to grow as an individual, have fun, meet friends. That's really different than like academic growth. But then again, people go into college with different priorities. There's so many different ways to play the game. If you plan on becoming a professor, then your approach to college should be really different from someone like me, who, I'm trying to chart my own path, become an entrepreneur, retire by the age of 30, become a stay-at-home dad, all that crazy stuff. So for me, college was really more about self-discovery, figuring out what I like, what I don't like. I think that Yale was the best place for that, because at Princeton, the academics would have been more challenging to the point where even thinking about it logistically or economically, I would have, let's say, 3 to 5 less hours for that messing around time to discover what I like and try out different things and bond with people, things like that. Like I remember when I was attending Yale, my number one priority was bonding with other people, going on little dates and setting up times to have coffee and catch up. I tried to work as little as possible, and just that idea of sitting alone and working. For sure, there's a time and place for that, but that was just never my priority. That's not the reason why I wanted to attend a 4-year college. You know what I mean? What other questions do you guys have? That was a really good one, Vicente. And I think that Princeton was Princeton still, to this day, has an amazing dance program. Like their dance community is very vibrant. Lots of hip hop, lots of contemporary, huge breakdance team, probably one of the biggest out of all the IVs. I think there were like 30, 40 people, and they would get funding from the school to go travel. Guys, the allergies are out of control today. I'm so sorry. You just have to see me like this. But there are just some days where the nose is, it's betraying me. But anyways, yeah, that was a good question. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? I'm trying to keep an eye out on the chat as well as looking at this little phone camera here. Unfortunately, I only have about 10 more minutes and then I'm going to dip. But please, guys, let me know how I can be helpful to you guys. I do want to plug my newest video. Let's take a look. It's called This Is Why. I'm a YouTuber, and it's celebrating a lot of the kids that I've helped and how they got into some of their dream schools and talking about how I've helped them. So it's pretty sweet. Check it out. Any religious group you were part of at Yale? I was and still am an atheist. I wasn't part of any religious groups. Although there's a really funny story, Julia. I'm going to get into it in a second. What got you into education? Okay, great. Yeah, these are really, really awesome questions. I can definitely talk about them for the next 10 minutes or so. So Tulia, I was like, you have to understand that even 2 or 3 years ago, my position and my mentality was so different from where it is today. Like today, my biggest insecurity was related to finances. And I was first gen low income. Finances dictated a lot of my decisions, where I was gonna eat, like should I even buy a coffee, what books, should I spend an hour looking for a free PDF online versus buying the book on Amazon, or should I just cave and spend the money? And I remember, I literally used to try to find as many free meals as possible. And one of the places where you could get a free meal was this religious group. It was basically like an event, a weekly meeting that involved all of the religious groups on campus, and they would go and talk about really big topics or themes. So, if you were atheist, you could come. If you were Buddhist, if you were Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Protestant, Catholic, whatever. And so we would go, sit down, have pizza, and basically discuss questions like, what does death mean in your religion? Or what does death mean to you? How do we define love? Like, what are different acts of love? How does that vary from culture to culture, religion to religion? And I remember one topic in particular, which was the most fascinating to me. I was just kind of sitting there and observing, but we would have activities where they would force you to talk to people and stuff like that, which was cool. Like little speed dating where you guys would talk about the topic for 1 or 2 minutes and then rotate and talk to someone else. One of the topics, and the question we were trying to answer is, what does it mean to be a friend? And I remember this question in particular, this very specific question, which was, should you light yourself on fire to keep a friend warm? Should you light yourself on fire to keep a friend warm? And almost everyone in the group said no, resounding no, disagreement. Right, like harming yourself, hurting yourself in order to provide for others, very counterintuitive. Except for the Arabian kids, the kids from the Middle East, specifically the Egyptian kids, were like, guys, what are you talking about? That's what it means to be a friend. Of course you would light yourself on fire to keep someone warm. Sacrifice is a part of friendship. And I remember that was a huge intellectual, just like a light bulb went off. A light bulb went off and then was shattered at the same time. I was like, whoa, never even considered that perspective. So that's what I miss the most about college. I really do. I wish we had more of that in our day-to-day lives, you know what I'm saying? If there's free food, you gotta go for it. You mentioned that you will maybe go to business school, but do you consider going to a graduate school of education? So Rasmus, I don't think I'd ever do a PhD. I have lots of friends who are doing PhDs, and it is miserable. It is so hard, and it is just so stressful. It's such a long commitment as well. A master's degree is 1 year, versus a PhD, it could be 4 years, 5 years, or even 6 years. And you have to publish a dissertation. That's a lot. I just think I'm not ready to invest 5 to 6 years of my life just for the sole purpose of furthering research. Could be miserable. yeah, you do get paid. You know, if you're pursuing a PhD, you get paid $30,000 a year. You know, which is not a lot, but at least you get paid to study. You walk away with a PhD. It's tricky. Like, what happens after the PhD? Do you become a professor? Like most people do. Getting a professor is really difficult. I'm thinking of more just getting a master's degree. I might get a master's degree in education. At this point, though, guys, I have never paid for education. Public school from K through 8 was free in Miami. Exeter was free. I was on full financial aid. Copped that free $200,000, education. Yale was free. All right, well, I did pay like a couple $1,000s here and there, but I worked. I have no loans, right? Like I'm graduating from Exeter and Yale, the #1 school, high school in America, the number 2 college in America, top 10 in the world, free. I've invested like nearly 100. Actually, I have invested $100,000 in 1 year. It's projected to grow to like $500,000, $600,000 in the next 6 to 7 years. And then after that, like I will be 28 years old, and with $500,000 as a nest egg, I could retire. I could get a house. Although I might just travel around and continue to let my money compound. And by the time I'm like, I will have to take some out to raise the kids and all that kind of stuff. But that is a problem for future Kevin. Questions about education. How did I get into education? I started by teaching high schoolers in my dorm. Long story short, I was really bad at writing, got good at writing, taught those kids how to write. Then I started winning writing awards, and then 2 years later, those kids won the same writing awards that I won using the same techniques that I had used to win my award. So it was really cool to see, like, wow, these techniques work, and they can be applied from one student to another at a very high level where they separate them from the rest of the pack. And clearly, like, using techniques like braiding and thematic statements and motifs, you could really come up with some fantastic personal essays, stories, etc. I started getting really interested in education through writing, but at the same time, I thought a lot about my trajectory, and I started off at a decent school in Miami. It could have been better, it could have been a lot worse, and then just slowly, like this huge jump in education from public school, public middle school to private boarding school, class sizes of 12 kids per class, and then I went to Yale, which was equally as prestigious, more prestigious, but I thought that the quality of education at Yale was so much worse than Exeter. Like, I think that pretty much everything I learned at Yale, I could have taught myself just by sitting down and studying really, really hard at a library. So much of the learning took place on your own, where you would read like 2 books a week. That's an exaggeration, but let's say you read a solid 100, 120 pages a week per class, right? And then you spend just 2 hours discussing those 120 pages. You could spend hours discussing like 3 pages, because some of these texts are really dense, and then multiply that by 4 or 5, because that's how many classes you take per semester. Very frustrating to read all this information and then not be able to really discuss or dig into it with your peers. So that was a little bit frustrating. Denise, I remember you had PDFs of novels. Would it be possible to share that with me? I can't find or afford books in English here in Turkey. Yes. Oh, jeez, this nose. Denise, why don't you email me and I'll send over some books. Here's my email, kevin@zened.com. All right. I might wrap it up here in a few more minutes. Do you guys have any final questions that you want to know? How can I be of service to you guys? I really want you to I just want you guys to know that I'm here to be useful for you guys. What can I do? What can I answer? How can I help? Yeah, the Ivy League education is not flawless. I think that is quite interesting. I believe at either Cambridge or Oxford, there's a totally different model where at the high levels of a class, you're sitting down with a professor and you guys have like an hour where it's you, one other student, or 2 other students. You sit with the professor and it's like a 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-2 ratio, and you guys just talk. You have a conversation for like an hour or 2 hours in a library at drinking some coffee, talking about these really deep intellectual subjects. And I wonder if that is a better educational system. It's a little bit less structured, but more thorough in a sense, also more flexible. The answer is probably somewhere in between, where different education systems work to a different extent for different people. You know what I'm saying? Some people need that structure. Some people want to be able to explore creatively. It depends on what subject you're teaching. there's so many variables that are involved, but I think that what really is frustrating and kind of saddens me or disappoints me is that most students grow up just exposed to one educational system or pedagogy, and that is not necessarily the best thing. Like in China, right, where kids are kind of treated as essentially robots, and there's the school is trying to give you information and then have you repeat that information back on an exam. That's essentially, right? I don't want to oversimplify it, but that's kind of the gist of things. There's so many different variations. What if I gave you the information and I told you to create something instead of making a test? Or what if I taught you how to discover that information rather than feeding you the information, like spoon feeding it to you? What if like we walked you through the past, the logic that Isaac Newton had when he was discovering calculus, and you came to that discovery on your own 500, 600 years later after Newton? Of course, I'll give you a few hints and nudges here and there. Is that better? You know, for some, that was actually the system that they taught at Exeter, where we would essentially be trying to like discover calculus in the same way that Newton discovered it through derivatives and investigating graphs. And if you zoom in like really, really closely on a curved line, you'll see that it's really just a combination of all these little infinite straight lines put together, right? I didn't think that was actually that helpful. I thought that was so confusing. Like, why don't you just tell me how to do it and then I'll learn how to do it? I'm not Isaac Newton. Do I need to follow in his footsteps? Probably not. That's what I'm saying. Like, different education systems will work for different people, but we need to know what these ingredients are. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine growing up in a kitchen and you're only cooking one ingredient your whole life. You become a master at that ingredient. Sure, you are a master at that ingredient. You don't even know that there are other ingredients out there. Like, isn't that kind of a tragedy? I think so. Wow, so many questions here in the last few minutes. You probably will need, I mean, you don't need national awards, but they definitely help. I would say that they are super duper helpful. I mean, I might honestly say you need one, but there's different things that qualify as a national award. Tulia, you should, whoa, Creedman got into Yale RD. Nice, guys. I think I've had at least 5 subscribers get into Yale RD, which is fantastic. So that's really, really cool. Wow, guys, I am probably going to have to end it here. Let me write down some of these questions so I can talk about them next time. What do they teach in English classes at Yale/Exeter? I have several state-level research medical professor. Tulia, you're good, right? Like, would I rather have 1 national award or 5 state ones? It depends on the topic. I think you'll be okay. What year are you, Tulia? Tulia said you're a sophomore or a junior? You still have time. Gun for that national award, right? Like, can you get your research published in a national journal? That counts as a national award. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to consider. Yes, guys, I got a dip because I actually have a interview with one of my high school classmates. He's pursuing a master's degree in international relations, has worked at the United Nations, so I'm going to interview him, talk to him about his experience, and publish that interview sometime in May. Hopefully you guys are checking out the College Winterview series. It would be awesome. Those take a long time to schedule, record, edit, publish, touch up. So, you know, take a look at that playlist and see if any of those videos appeal to you. Play it on double speed and leave, you know, some smart comments. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you guys have when it comes to those experiences. I know that some people who watch the series really, really enjoy it. Let me share it with you all real quick. It's this one, the College Winterviews series over here. But yeah, I'm gonna dip. So great to see you guys, as always. I'm sorry I'm late. I'll be back next week at our usual 12 o'clock Eastern time. All right, guys? In the meantime, if you have any burning questions, feel free to email me, kevin@zened.com. All right, guys? It's in the chat. Take it easy, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.